This playthrough is rated M for mature.
Greetings and salutations, viewers. Vauldemare back here with another episode of Dark Souls. And you just saw there that I destroyed the stray demon of the Undead Asylum. Yeah, I decided not to take you through the time it would take me to beat him. It took me about 6 minutes, and it was the time right after I died to him on screen. So, yeah, just follow. I mean, if you saw the video, yeah, even though I died, I mean, the way to beat him is just surround him, wait till he flops around, then attack in the back. Make sure not to get right behind him when he does that radius blast, because then the radius might actually go through him and clip you. So there you go. Anyway, we get the Humanite and we get a Titanite slab. These are very rare. These will allow you to upgrade your weapon to the max. Well, regular weapon, not like a unique weapon like the sword I'm using right now. I will eventually swap this out for different weapons, don't worry folks, because really in the long run this sword is only good to a point. Basic weapons that upgrade to max end up being better than this sword, unless you get unless you get multiple twinkling twilight shards and upgrade this to +5, and even then it's not bad, but there's still weapons that are much better than it overall. But anyway, after beating him, we can drop down here. Remember folks, remember at the beginning of the game when we saw him there? Yeah, this whole game shadowed to the fact that we could come back here and fight him. So even though unsuspecting players would fall through the crack, there's multiple signs to show that there's a way to get to that guy. And, you know, this breaking open here, you could see that there's a way out of the area. But anyway, I forgot to show this before because I wasn't really paying attention. I was going to come here anyway, but I thought, well, let's beat the boss and I'll show you this. But anyway, that Black Knight was covering our old original cell. Oh man, this brings back memories of being dropped in here, waiting here for centuries without a key. Yep, depression. Good memories. Anyway, we find a new corpse here with a doll. Interesting. Let's see. What does this doll say? There once was an abomination who had no place in this world. She clutched this doll tightly, and eventually was drawn to a cold and lonely painted world. Well, that's neat, I guess, for my collection. So, anyway, with this whole place completely, the demon is dead. We've got the peculiar doll. We didn't really need that. I don't know why anyone would come back just for that. Not that it would lead to a very interesting and designed world. Silly billies. Anyway, the main thing we were here for was that rusted ring. Now that we've got it, we can go back to the real world. All right. Now we can finally tackle the actual story, or the actual plot of the game. Although, I guess doing anything in this game really indicates part of the storyline. But now let's finally leave the Undead Asylum, since we got what we came here for. No, we don't. Mainly, I'm kind of tired of doing using the same weapon and the pitiful damage, because you can't get weapons that'll do a lot more damage overall. And really, this sword does not utilize my strength build very well. So, anyway, there will be one other reason to come back here for specific items from Crowley. I think it was Snarky the Crow or Crowley the Crow, something like that. But other than that, there's really no reason to go back here anymore. We've pretty much done everything we could. A nice little throwback, allowing us to come back to the beginning of the game. I thought that was pretty neat first time I figured that out. I figured it, I mean, you know, I'm not tooting my own horn, but, you know, like, I'm one of those guys that'll fully explore a game while running around, so, and, you know, I just noticed that I could get up there to the crow, and then I didn't think I could actually do anything with the crow's nest until I walked up to it. I thought there'd be something inside of it, like, oh, you got up here, here's an item, you know, but, well, I mean, there wasn't an item, but it allowed me to curl up in the ball, and I was like, why did it let me do that? So I sat in there for a few moments. I was about to leave, and then the cutscene appeared, and I was like, oh, that's cool, you know, but anyway, with that done, I need to get back to Undead. Well, there's a couple ways to get to the next section of the game. Let's just drop here and drop there. I want to rest at Fire Lake Shrine. The hell? Who's making that noise? Who's there? Show yourself, knave! I am Boudica of the Celtic lands to the far north. You cannot scare me. Or, I guess it's being a feminine voice. Eh, whatever. You shall not scare me? Perhaps there's a ghost. Let's forget about it. Probably not important. Alright, well, before we get out of here, let me go to Firelink Shrine once again. Alright. I don't want to show... Well, I guess I could show you the whole path. I mean, you know how to get there, but let's get back to Undeadburg and show you the one of the two ways we can get back on track in the game. The one through the way I'm going is the most likely way you're supposed to take to get to the next section of the game. But yeah, isn't it kind of crazy how at the beginning of the game I was afraid of these guys killing me? Well, I wasn't, but you get my point. I was afraid of getting killed by those guys, and now I could easily get hit if I really wanted to and not have to worry about it too much. But remember, just because you can kill things easily doesn't mean you should always be... Now, that was fine, because I've done it so many times, but in the future, just keep an idea up that even weak enemies can kill you if given the lucky hit, or they can surround you, yada, yada, yada. So, just keep that in mind. But anyway, we want to get back to the... we want to get back to that fire near the dragon. See, isn't it crazy how I could just... If you're really aware of what you're doing, you could just, like, run through old areas of the game. You're just like, do, this is easy. We've done it before. We've done it before, and we can do it again. And we can do it again. Oh, right, I want to level up before we keep continuing on, shall we? Alright, I want to level up my strength a bit. I might raise my dex here in the future. Not now, but I do want to. Do I want to... With that ring, endurance is not as high a priority for me anymore. I'll level up my HP once more. I might level up my strength for quite a bit after this, because that will be my main focus. Well, endurance does give me stamina, so... I do need stamina for a heavy build. Never mind. We'll still need endurance, but not that I need it immediately. Yeah, I know, I'm probably adding on a little extra time for... I could have easily cut to the door here, but show you the process, just in case if you'd forgotten. Although, veteran players already know what to do. God, I'm getting all these drops. I don't even have the 10 souls max here to do that. Oh, okay, never mind. So it's the other way around. Alright. I thought that... For some reason, I thought that key opened that door. Well, I know the other way to do it. It's over this way. Alright, so we have to get past that dragon again, but I may or may not die. We'll find out. Actually, I could just go around and not have to mess with that dragon. Let's see. It should be... I think I did activate him so I could get his sword from earlier, right? Oh, no, he hasn't come back yet. Okay, well. Run! Run for it! Run, Forrest, run! Luckily at my health, I won't immediately get destroyed by the dragon's fire anymore. Anyway, yeah, you know that scene where we met Solaire? Which I think Solaire's still here, actually, if I recall. Yep, he's still here. Hey, Solaire. Anything new?
Hello there. If only...
Nah, I didn't think he said anything new. Anyway, yeah, that key we got way back before when we got that bell tower allows us to go in here. This will take us to Underground Lodrin. I think if you... No, it says it only opens up for that one side, so never mind. I could have swore that there was a second way to get down. No, I think it's the master key. If you have the master key, there's a second way to get down to this area right here. But this will take us to the next sections, which will head us towards the next bell. Ah, here we go. This will, if we go down here and then go back up these stairs, ta-da! We got our shortcut. Hooray! Dark Souls, the masterful use of shortcuts. Anyway, that'll allow us to get back down here. This place isn't too difficult. The boss is kind of a bitch, though, I'll admit. And he's one of those, what's the word to describe him? He's a cheap boss. That's the best way to describe him. Oh, by the way, these dogs have poison. Or no, bleeding. Sorry, bleeding. These dogs can do bleeding, so be careful. Sometimes you can actually, if you have an alluring skull, you could actually lure them all into that fire there if you want to kill them that way. So that's an idea. This place is not too difficult, but you do have to be kind of prepared of your surroundings because you could get surrounded. Oh well, if you go further, you do get attacked by multiple people. Dead end. Yes, it's a dead end. You can't get through here. Why do people say that type of stuff? It's not true. Because Dark Souls and trolling go hand in hand. Am I right, folks? Man, if only I could get through these doors.
Somebody,
wait.
Anybody, help me. Unlock the door. Damn, I'm finished. How did this ever happen?
I did not mean to click through his dialogue, folks. He said, like, hello, anyone out there? Help me, you know, so sorry about that. We can use that residence key we got from before a while back. Hello, a friendly face. And you haven't killed me yet. You must be good. Oh, did I hear a noise of a... Okay, I didn't want an enemy AI attacking me while I was talking to this guy.
You opened the door for me. Thank you. I'm saved. I thought I might never escape. I am Griggs of Vinheim, a sorcerer of the school. I am much obliged for your assistance. Thanks to you, I may now resume my travels.
Hey, Grig, we haven't met before, but some guy mentioned something about you probably breaking the line of dialogue that we shouldn't have learned, but this is Griggs, Sorcerer Supreme. I'm not a sorcerer, so I probably won't be talking to him very much in the future. Let's see if he has anything else to say.
Fine. I will rest a while, then return to PhyreEngine Shrine. I have my sorcery, and I will be more cautious next time. Besides, I have an important task at hand.
Probably reminds me of wizards in D&D, you know, strong, but if they get hit once, down they go like a glass cannon.
I'm fine. Besides,
okay. Anyway, yeah, we've saved him, so if you want to try getting these barrels, try to be careful not to accidentally make him aggressive. Usually rolling into things will do that. And we get, from this corpse, we get the Sorcerer's outfit. It's basically what he's wearing. So if you want to play as the Sorcerer Supreme, there you go. Just like Doctor Strange, am I right? No, for some reason I thought there was another body in there. Oh well, anyway. Yeah, we get his outfit.
Oh, hello.
Anything else to say?
Besides,
okay, just making sure. Anyway, we'll see him later. So let's keep exploring Undeadburg. Well, Lower Undeadburg, to be precise. Uh-oh, more undead. Careful. Really, you should be careful, because fire actually hurts. Fire's like one of the few things in the game that hurts no matter what level you are. I mean, if you have a lot of endurance. Well, I mean, technically, if you raise the resistance status, or if you have a piece of armor that is high resistance to fire, it might not be so bad. Like that Eastern armor I got from inside Darkroot Garden would be a good representation of fire resistant armor. That actually would be pretty decent armor to wield through a good part of the game because of its fire resistance. There we go over here, get Twin Humanities, alright. Especially if you're fighting that red dragon, which we will eventually fight some point in the game, because I want to kill it just for killing purposes and completion purposes. But it'll be a while till we get there, because I really don't have the soul levels for it. You could, like I said, you could probably range him to death if you got a decent bow and a high enough strength. But he regenerates after 50% of his health, so you have to be careful about that. So now you notice how these doors, how doors there look like they could be opened? Well, they can! For a trap! Yeah, if you're not careful, you will. These guys will sneak attack you, so you have to be careful. I think they also have a high chance of for bleed encounter. So if you've got the ring, equipping the blood bite ring ain't too bad down here because of their high resistance to or high probability for bleeding. We'll go ahead and do that. Just. Oh wait, I didn't buy it. I forgot to buy it from Oswald. Well, if you have it, good for you. If, you know, but I forgot to do that. Whoops. Although it is a lot of souls. It's like 14,000 souls to buy it from Oswald. So, you know, if you don't have it, just either have good armor that has blood resistance, or just be kind of aware of your surroundings. Also, if you want to be complete for outfits, these guys drop the Hollow Thieves outfit. I think it's just head, chest, and boots, if I remember correctly. I don't think they have... Or no, is it head, chest, and pants, and no gloves. I think that's it. I don't remember all the sets, but like what's in them. But they do drop it. So if you want to stay here and grind for the sets, you can. I don't think it's anything great. Sadly, most of the enemy AI like armor usually isn't better than. Oh, I forgot these guys can parry you. Whoops. Well, luckily I'm a high enough level, so good for me, I guess. Ah, you did again. God damn it. Oh, there you go. And run. Run. Oh, yeah, you do not want to be facing your back to these guys. Well, like I said, luckily I have the health for it, so, and the HP, but yeah. I forgot that these guys could parry. Sometimes you forget, you know, just, it happens, you know. As much as I've played this game. There's only a handful of enemies that parry you. Later on in the game, we fight more monstrous enemies, and they don't parry. They just, like, brute force method you, so... I tend to forget that early game messes with parrying enemies, and after that, the game kind of like, oh, yeah, nah, never mind, forget about that. We don't care. Well, not that they don't care, it's just, you know, at some point, you just have to change up the, whoops, sorry if the camera's a little funky because of, that. In here, we get the Thieves outfit. If you'd chosen the Thief class, you would have been able to get this, right at the beginning of the game, but, we don't need it. But if you're playing a... Oh, actually, the Thief outfit's actually really good for a Dex build. If you're playing a Dex build, the Thief's outfit's probably the best one to equip for the rest of the game. Alright, and here is our boss, but we don't want to counter him just yet. We will. I just want to do a little last-minute exploration before I head on to the, boss. Aha. So you gotta pay attention. Alright. I might as well use this type of healing because for the boss, I'm probably not going to get many chances to use an actual spell. Oh, come on, drop something else. You already gave me the tights. We're men. We're undead and tights. Tights! We're high looking for fights. Fights! We're men. We're undead and tights. Da-da-da-da. Anyway. People consider that to be the worst of the Mel Brooks movies. I disagree. Probably Dead and Loving It. It's not that terrible. It's just, you know, probably could have been a bit better. Now Mel Brooks is getting on in years. Who knows how many years he has left. But he's given me plenty of funny in my younger days. Anyway, why did I start talking about Mel Brooks all of a sudden? I don't know. Anyway, let's explore up here. This will take us to somewhere. So let's see what this place has. If I remember, I thought... Ah, yes, here we go. This is another, well, I'll talk to you first in a second, lady. I want to activate the next shortcut. Gonna activate a shortcut. Gonna activate that shortcut. Yeah, right here. You remember where the first place to Undeadburg? Well, there's another way to get to the lower parts of Undeadburg without having to go through that whole area all over again. All right. Or have to go through all those hollowed thieves. But anyway, let's go back here and let's talk to this undead behind her. Clearly they're undead and hollow. You look familiar. You look like that merchant from Undead Burgers who is petting an imaginary cat in that basket. What do you have to say?
You still have your senses about you. Then why won't you buy some of my moss? I need your souls.
Sorry, I didn't hear you, creepy lady. You're talking a little low. I'm a little deaf in this ear. Yes, we meet another merchant.
This is a wonderful place, don't you think? We have water, moss, moisture, these nice iron bars. I like it here, I really do. Nothing good ever happened to me in life. But now that I'm undead, I've never been happier.
Yeah, one of the few people that's fine that she's undead. Well, good for you, right? Yeah, at least you got your personality. Awkward smile.
At a bad time. There were nothing but hollows in these parts. Safe from me, of course. You're undead too, aren't you? You be careful then.
Well, alright then. I will be careful, thanks.
Go down along the side to reach the depths of the undead bird. Only unkempt crooks and liars But who knows? Maybe you'd fit right in.
Everyone who hasn't turned undead and attacked me are quite jolly people. Have you noticed that?
There were nothing but hollows.
See, I think she already said that. Yes, sorry, just trying to exhaust her dialogue. Alright, she sells the moss clump. So if you haven't had a good drop from the Bloodroot Forest tree ants or plant creatures there, you can buy them straight from her. Like I said, if you have either an item that increases your item discovery, get the 10 humanities, it's better just to straight out, like, yeah, it's cheap, but you can easily grind for this stuff in the forest, and it has a high chance of dropping. But if you need to buy it, there it is. She also sells poison throw knife and dung pie. The toxic affliction is pretty nasty. There are a handful of creatures in the game that are truly affected by the dung pie. I'm trying to remember. I think there's even a boss that's really affected by the dung pie, if I remember correctly. But poison's slow, but there are a few creatures in the game that are really afflicted by it. There's actually a few bosses that are as well. Weirdly enough, she also sells the alluring skull. She sells the charcoal pine resin for fire to my hand weapons, which is really nice. Oh, I forgot to mention, now that we talk about fire weapons, in the Undead Asylum, that stray demon you fight, he's weak against fire. So if you go through here first and get the pine resin and then go back and fight him, that wouldn't be too bad. I might buy a couple of these off screen. And she sells the transient curse, the potted pine, which adds poison. This is more effective in PvP mostly, but there are, like I said, a couple of people that sell that. Homeward Bone, nice. Prison Stones, pretty much worthless for the most part. She also sells humanities for 5,000. So if you got plenty of souls and don't know where to grind for them, this is a good place to go. Purging Stones for curse. But anyway, she gets the transient curse, one of the most useful. Well, okay, not the most useful item in the game. It is a very useful item because of a specific area in the game which requires this. So we don't need it now. But you may save a few souls to buy at least, probably say about 5 of them. After that, the place where you need it for, you might get more with frequent regularity. But at least buy at least 5 is probably a good point. But yeah, at some point, a good place to come for the pine resin, because there's not a whole lot of places that sell that. So, but I'll sell a couple. I won't use it for regular people, but I'd probably use it on a couple bosses. Okay. Anyway, oh, the bad thing about this type of weapon I'm using, I forgot to mention, is that you can't use pine resin on it. So you have to take it as is. This is one of the main reasons why you want to use different types of weapons instead of unique weapons like this. Like, the only reason I'm using this now is at my current level, this will do the most damage for my buck. But definitely something to consider. Now, that door is locked, so we can't do anything with that yet. We have to encounter the boss for that reason. Now, this boss probably, I'd say, is not super difficult, but the problem is that this guy's kind of cheap. And well, I'll show you here in a second. Depending on how bad my luck is, I might suffer the full brunt of his attack right at the beginning of the fight. So, all right, I'm trying to remember what he's weak against. Range is probably not going to be your best friend in this fight. You might just stick with good armor and a shield even at lighter builds, or be aware of your surroundings a bit. Something that's good at defense. I know this is 100% physical, but it'll work for what I need out of it. A decent weapon, you know, so forth, yada yada. All right, let's see. Unfortunately, I don't really have much to prepare for because, like I said, I'm not. Okay, I don't want that. Blood. If you had the blood or the blood bite ring, I would definitely equipped it here. Probably go for the poise. I think it's the one I want to go through. Oh, and the reason I have so many thunder resin, gold pine resin, is the mushrooms in the Darkroot Forest that I ran across. It's a low drop, but they drop the thunder pine resin, so something to consider for that as well. Also, if you want to help up your fellow man, probably dropping your summon either here or near the beginning of the map when you climb down those stairs for the area would be a good place to drop your summon sign to help other players out for that, just to kind of give you a warning. Alright, let's fight the boss of this area. The cheap boss. The boss that freaking attacked you at the beginning of the level. God! And I still got hurt quite a bit. Oh, and by the way, he has dogs helping him. Woohoo! Capradema, you son of a bitch. Yeah, this guy's a dick because, one, he has a couple of allies helping him. Two, he attacks you, like, right at the beginning of the fight, so there's a good chance he might insta-kill you. Like, just from a good hit on you. If you're doing a ranged or wizard build, probably about here is probably where you want to be, for the most part. Let's see. See if we can get that to drop or to get drop damage, which we did, luckily enough. After that, he's actually not too bad. You just have to suffer his slings and arrows of defeat. See, like I said, he's not that. He doesn't have a lot of HP. Right. See, sometimes he'll jump up here, by the way. That's how, like, you can't just completely use that spot for defense, but if you're lucky, he'll like what the crossbow uses. Ha! I got a crit on his head. Yeah, his head is actually his weak spot. That's why a drop damage is actually one of the better spots for. Alright, let's finish him off. Goodbye, Capradema, you cheap son of a bitch. Hooray! We did it. And oh, that's a rare drop too. Nice. I'm surprised I got that. The Demon Great Machete is one of his rare drops. And we also got Humanity, Homeward Bone. Man, we got quite lucky on the rare drops today. That's pretty much it. He drops the key to the depths is what we need to get to the next area. So let's check that out really quick before we key to the depths. Open doors leading to the lower bergs to the depths. Those banished from the undead berg eke out their existence in the depths. A damp layer with no trace of sunlight. Nearly half of the depths form a perilous flooded labyrinth. I may have been a little high level for it, you know, or I might have had a decent weapon. Then again, my crossbow, you know, +5 still did a decent amount to him. Yeah, I wouldn't say he's hard. He's just cheap. Because the first time he's one of the first bosses that instantly attacks you as soon as you, well, storyline bosses that you have to do through story. I'm not talking about the Asylum Demon that you drop in, but he's one of the first story bosses that instantly attacks you as soon as you walk inside. So for newbie players, yeah, he's kind of a dick. Luckily, the area to get to him is pretty small, so if you die, you don't suffer too badly from the boss there. But yeah, the depths aren't too difficult either. Really, we haven't really hit the hardest part of the game yet. Like I said, it can be annoying at times, but I wouldn't say it's difficult. But yeah, we enter the depths, the sewer level of the game, basically. I mean, for the most part. Yeah, not too difficult yet. I mean, it gets a little difficult. I'd probably say the game's difficulty truly ramps up when we get to a certain fortress, if you know what I mean. You know what I mean? Sorry, I don't mean to use other people's colloquialisms. When you're on the internet, sometimes it's hard to make up your own original stuff. You know, but you know, keep your nose up, you know, as we enter the depths. The depths. Ow, you set me on fire. You set me on fire! Alright. Let's see. Yeah, like I said, not too difficult. There is a tough boss, well, not boss, but there's a tough monster in here. Let's, should be pretty soon. They drop, oh, dang it, shouldn't have done that. Oh, well. Suffer the slings and arrows of my misfortune. Actually, be glad that you get to fight these guys now, because at the later on in the game, we won't fight weak on hollow at this anymore. The game will basically say, okay, you don't need these hollows anymore. We're gonna give you hard stuff now. Okay. There's the... Ah, there it is. There's the creature of this place, the Butcher. Let's see. Ah. Not that I need the range, but, you know, it's nice to get a little extra damage off before the... Oh, alright, we need a good place for the Butcher to, butchers should follow me for the most part. Well, I thought they were going to. Oh, someone kindled the bonfire I was at. Thank you. It gave me an extra flask. How nice. Wait, did the... Oh, I was about to say, did the butcher, like, fall into the sewer area? Alright. I'm trying to remember... If I remember, the butcher's pretty slow. You could, range or parry. Although, depends on what attack they use. Or what shield you're using, for the most part. Luckily I have a decent shield, so... Alright, really just gotta... You actually find out a bit about the butcher from talking to a specific character. I think it's in here in a second. I don't want to spoil the reveal of what the... Oh, I didn't drop the mask? Oh wait, no, there's another butcher in here. Never mind. I think they dropped the mask. But, they could drop a butcher's mask. It's just a unique helmet to, you know, so. I think one is supposed to guarantee to drop. I don't think that's a mimic, if I remember correctly. No, it isn't. I didn't think they had it. You don't get introduced to the mimics yet till later on. Although I guess I kind of spoiled it by saying there's a mimic. You can actually drop in there. It won't kill you, but there's really no reason to. It's not like you get a rare item for doing that. Oh, anyway, in that chest we get the large ember. The large ember. Ember required for weapon ascension. A large, high-quality ember handled by the blacksmiths of a store. Ascension for +5 weapons, allowed for +10. So now we can actually, if you'd upgrade all your stuff to +5, you can now upgrade to +10, which is nice. So, you know, keep your Titanite shards or large Titanite shards where and ready to go, and you can upgrade them. So, what do the depths of Undeadburg have to offer Boudica in her undead form? Will we survive the way and keep our sense of smell intact? Find out next time on Dark Souls. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. And don't go hollow now, you hear?